we need to download the OpenPyXL to our Python file. So how we were doing it in a terminal when the Python debug console is online, we were using pip install and OpenPyXL. So this is the code that we need to use to install the OpenPyXL library. And when you press enter, it will download the OpenPyXL in a matter of seconds. Does it work right now? It does, right? Yeah, yesterday the pip was not working.
We should go to software. Can see it, but yeah. I'm trying to make that bigger. Because it's a red, yeah. So red is red because we didn't put anything. So we have created a function and we didn't put anything. So you can either do this or like there's another way. So you should do that. So this is one of the things that's. So right now you have already created like the functions that in your mind you designed. So the name you have the name of the function. So in here you see it has an error, gives an error because I didn't put anything in the create DB. So I can either use pass, but it will understand, okay, there is nothing to do. So basically what this function does, nothing. I need to say you need to do nothing here to get rid of the error. What if continue?
No, continue. Nice, because the continue should be inside the loop. It gives this error. Because I thought that it should be doing the same thing. But yeah, the pass does the job. And I think the break is also not working right now. Yes, in
Can be what is during the development.
Yes, but let's say that I have some functions, like function 1. It should be doing something, I don't know. And I will just put it as a pass. And then I made it like another function, function 2. And pass. Since I'm going to put these functions to the buttons, so without any errors, I can put them or like for trials in the first developments. This is like a very good example because like while I am also like doing something, so we had provided buttons here, right? So right now we can put comment and do something there because like we just had the functions with a pass. So I'm just deleting them. Yes, pass is a way to get rid of the error that gives you didn't do anything inside. Okay, you all have the file that I have sent, right? The raw commands. So let's just discuss. It will be just again a shallow discussion. We don't need to see like too much further details because SQL and doing like such a library systems is not like a small job. It's again like a big job that we will be doing right now. So just try to see the shallow thing that how the program will look like. Okay, as you see in here, so this is the start of the SQL database. And yeah, just ask any questions if it is like if you have. So a variable called as like a con created, and this will give us the information about is there a connection established. So this one will hold this value. So con equals to SQL3 connect, and we are going to connect to a DB. If there is no like database is this one. So if there is a database called random data, it will be connecting to it. If there is not, it will create it. Then I will check the C as a cursor. So we have to do it after the connection. So this is basically how we are going to do execute commands or get some values in the connection from the connection. And yeah, we are going to create a new table by using the c.execute. Execute. After the execute, it means that it is going to execute the commands of SQL. This is the type of code of the SQL. So SQL is also like another programming language. It has its own syntax. So by using the execute command, we can execute the SQL commands inside the cursor, which is our connection cursor. Create table if not X. So again, it is not important. This is again like a totally different syntax from Python. This is SQL syntax. But what we are seeing here, again, this SQL is something that easy to comment but hard to write. So because like if you don't know in the first, but otherwise, if there is like a ready one, it will create a table if there is nothing exist as a users. So the table will be users, and all users have one ID, one name, and one age inside. ID is an integer, we know integer. Name is a text or string, and it shouldn't be empty, and it should be the age should be an integer. Okay, and this is the, I think again in the SQL, this is like how you open and close your code, and it closes and it executes that one. But we are going to have a table of IDs, names, and ages. Okay, now this is something that we have just used the functions. So you have do you remember the random string? So it will provide a name with a random string. Since there is no input in here, what is the default? It is going to give the default. So do you remember? So there was a random string. The default was 6. So we can change it, but let's put it as a 6 in here right now. So it will give us a name with a random string population of 6 letters. And it will give us an age, minimum and maximum between 18 and 18. So by that way, we have a person. We are not going to give an ID because ID will be auto-populated. And we are going to execute another command. Insert into users name age, and values will be name and age. This is the syntax of that again execute command, that we are going to give two things which with question marks. That is like the C. I think this is similar to C, but in that one we were using like if it's float like that, if it's integer, something like that. But yeah, these are called. So in the text, you can put like the functions, but to put the function outside from the text, you need to give some information about it. So question mark is used to get those variables from outside. Okay, now committing. In the connection, after the executing these commands, we have the operation. Operation is ready, but I haven't done yet until we commit the changes. So it has all of the things in its own RAM or operation database, but it is not saved or committed to the database that is like working on. After commit, it is done. Now we have changed and put everything to the database. Okay, until here, these are just for creating the table. So I am just going to copy them, copy until they connect to SQL database, until commit, copy them and put to the main pie until under the create DB. So let me give a little bit of preference here, so you will see it. I just put all of the things inside the create.db, but you see they are not padded. If you have the same issue, it's like a tab problem because they should be inside the function. So I will just press, after selecting all of them here, I will press tab. So right now, we are in the DB, create DB function, and all of the things are just for creating a DB. So I will just use that create DB function, but let's go back to the SQL to Excel. Yeah, I will just tell you which one you should. So after all, like the things that you have done, you need to close the connection. So I think let me just double check. Otherwise, we need to connect it again. Actually, we can. Yeah, let's do it like that. So let's also close the connection after what we have done in the create DB. I select them, tapped, and okay. Okay, I'll just make the sorry, the editor bigger. Now you will be seeing easily. Okay, we have a function that is called create.db. It will connect to a SQL database or create it if it doesn't. It will create a database called random data DB. And it will create hundreds of records from different names and ages. But right now there is a problem with random string and random integer. You see, it doesn't see like where they are coming. So as we have done like this one, source my library as mylib. Did you make this one as well? Because we were using mylib to see our functions. I will be just copying the mylib or just put the mylib before them. Mylib dot random string and mylib dot random integer. Not comma, this dot. Now our create DB is ready, so I will just copy the name and put it to the button 3. I'm coming to the my button 3 and add command equal to create DB without parentheses. So right now, let's start the code and let's see does it work when we press the third button. So until here, there was no errors, which is okay, quite unexpected. So there should be always some errors, but thankfully we didn't get any error. So in create.db, it should right now runs our function. So let's try. When I press the create.db, it worked. So as you see, we have a now new database. If you go back to the your project, you will see that there is a database file, which is called random data. Do you have the same data as well, random data? It just created itself. So, or you can use it, you can see it from here. On the left, under your my project, you will see that there is a random data.db. Okay, I will be just opening it with a text file. So open with Notepad. This is the database. So basically, there are lots of things that we don't see, but this is just like a database that will hold our data. There are hundreds of people with their own specific IDs and ages. Okay, now we have a database which is SQL developed. Now we need to use the second button to put those information that we can't see in the DB to the Excel to like see them or to understand what is going on. Okay, so we are going back to the Visual Studio Code, but before that, did you just catch up until here? Is everything? But you also have the random data DB in your project, correct? So any questions so far? We have just created our own SQL data by just using some of the values that we have found created randomly.
Just one question.
Yes, sir.
This database.
No, you can't see.
Yeah, so all the character is broken. Do you think it's okay?
Yes, it should be like that because we had put the random and yeah. So because of that, we need to put them to the Excel to understandable to the user. But it is right now with database, and if you put it to the server, we can just access it using an SQL. This is like just like an SQL file in reality. That's how we are going to that we can just access it or modify it. Now we need a second function. We have created our database. I'm just pressing this button to see for easily. Now I will be defining new function, create Excel. Okay. So before going that, let's have a pass. By the way, we don't have an error. Let's go to the last one. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the SQL and to Excel file we have. So in this one, and we have already downloaded Open by Excel library. So we need to import the Open by Excel, and we just need to import like a workbook from the Open by Excel. So I think we can just from PyExcel import workbook should be enough. Maybe yes. Open PyExcel and workbook. We can just add this one. As you see, the complex the project it has more imports and proms the top. In the first, we haven't even used any like imports, but right now we have a proper program that is doing especially like something and using 2 different libraries, maybe 3, and also like our own library. And so it is normal that we have like a bunch of libraries that are working for us. Okay, let's go back to the SQL to Excel. So, and let's just before query. So in the Open by Excel, we need to create a workbook, which is in Excel. You open the Excel, you have firstly a book, and then you need to like automatically it happens, but there are sheets, right? So actually, why I'm just showing with my hands, if we can just have an Excel connection. So when you open Excel, it says that this is a book, and in the yeah, this is a workbook, and right now automatically it just goes to the sheet 1. You see, so or like so as in the same structure, we need to open a workbook and create a sheet, just like the same in the Excel, and we are going to do it in the Python. So it is called WB, which is workbook, and it is using the workbook class. So you see, it says that, okay, you are a workbook right now. The VB is our workbook, and we are going to add the worksheet inside the workbook. And it will be like the active worksheet, which is the first one that is open. And you can also change the title by using, again, worksheet title comments. Headers is the first one if you would like to add. If you append, like again, it's append function just add something to it, which is again like use very common function. But yeah, let's just state like that. We are going to use three ID, name, and age because these three were the things that we have added in our SQL database. And we are going to get the rows from the query. So like just a little bit more. And these rows will be in here. So there should be 100 records. So 100 of them. This is the automation, by the way. So you have 100 different items. Just think that you are coding something with 100 of lines that needs to be called for just getting this one. This is why we need to use for loop for e in something, just like the thing that we have done. And this is one of the automation things. Or this is also some like a very common operational algorithm in the numerical the calculations. So basically you can just like I think this is also the same thing for the CFT as well. Just think that it goes for days, but it just uses the same architecture. Not maybe like the for loop, but that should be like more complicated stuff. But it is the same. It has the same like idea behind different meshes. It will just go from zero mesh to the last mesh. From row in rows, and it will be appending all of the rows inside. Then we can save it as run.xlx. We will add, right now we are going to change this one to, because we are naming it from the name entry. Then close it. Okay, so how we are going to add it? We need to first connect it because we have lost the connection. So this is the connection. I will be just connect. I'll just copy the connection. I'm going back to my main py. And create Excel, I pass it. If you connect again, because we have already closed the connection, when we have finished the first function. Now we have connected the Excel. Let's go back to the SQL. So we are not going to create a new table. We are going to fetch table. Yeah. Query all data from the table. We are going to copy this. And I think we can copy all of the other things that is left until close. Yes. Yeah, we just got all things from query all data from table until the last to the main. And again, just like the same, we are going to put the tab. By the way, let me also go back to the settings. Well, yes. So now our create Excel function should be looking like this.
One question is this or an open as a lot of meetings that we included open we are going to just use the class outside of the page. So we are not going to use there are some classes like that, for example, in specific charts, you can select them by using some of the functions. Like select A1 on E1 by the very first. I'll just for example. So if you are going to use some functions that is related to that, like you need to use imports. I think you have access to the functions. But if you are just in the thought, class like it's by the way, that was a term called object-oriented programming. Have you heard of that? No. So I will just give you some information, but it will be more understandable. Just like because I think you'll be finishing in 10 minutes, you get it. So I'll just go a bit of the go. But this is basically why we are just taking the class. Okay.
So now we have created an Excel, create Excel function. Okay, everybody's following right until here, right? Okay, let's copy the create Excel. And I want it to be a command of the my button 4. Command create Excel. Let me make it bigger.
Is this okay? Link the commit. Create the function.
In the create Excel, we didn't. I don't think we need to go with commit. So we have closed. We need to commit if we would like to add something inside the database. So we had added the commits in the create database. Yeah, we did commit here. If we don't, it means that we are just operating something and it goes there. Commit is the thing that, by the way, so you don't operate while doing something in case if you make some errors. So instead, you all finish your operation, then commit them. This is basically how does it works. Why there's a commit. By the way, it is getting rid of some database corrupt issues. Okay, so let's try. Then we are going to modify some things because we were having, we can just change the name of the file. So we put everything and I don't see any errors. Okay, so fingers crossed. It took a little bit of time because right now we are using more. Okay, I'll just open the Explorer to see what is going on there as well. So we are not dealing with the source. Okay, we are in the main. Okay, so we had created a DB as random DB. So I'll just delete this one to just try. Okay, I'll just delete. Not recycle bin. Yes, I have deleted the the database file. So create database. It has created a database. Now I will put a create Excel. And now random data.xlsx file has been created. Let's take a look what is going on there. My projects and random data, it should be. Yes. Now you see we have created hundreds totally random numbers or like totally random names that we can call it as a database. Do you all have the Excel file that way?
No.
You don't. Let's take a look.
I got an error from this.
So did you download the OpenPyXL?
Yes,
Yeah,
she did.
because normally named OpenPyXL says. Let's try it again. Install. Let's see. Yes, it says we have already OpenPyXL. So I will just try to use import. It's also so there as well. So it looks like you need to close and open your Visual Studio Code. Yes, close that. Because it's been open.
Yeah, I already did it again, but if I
But this is working. It looks like it is.
well, like when I still
Yes. You get the database.
너무 좋아.
Exactly. Okay, this is interesting. Because we have already downloaded it. Yeri bilmenin sosyal olayı. Let's try it with our one. Yeah. 이거에 대해 이게 소스로 계시다고 하면 얘는 이게 한스는 얘는 그런 나중에 얘는 그래 그 내가 해다가 그리고 그냥 됐지. 이건 슈리 말하는 다 그리고 이건 뭐 말고 I'm not sure if that's if you want to say it takes it okay. It says there are components. Let's go back here. It's not really. Try so again. So before it says there is online. Let's take a look at the question. Take a look on this one, okay? So let me just check and finish it. After that, let's take a look for sure. We go to I put the first line here required the info and how can I pass it? Yes, so I think it was to double double. Yeah, sure, just like that. This way. Only the other one. Yeah, CSP or slides. Make the reach. Because it's yeah. I don't see the problem just the ones, and so I think, yeah, good. Because I couldn't source,
진짜 만날 것 같은데.
코드를 그리듯이.
아, 그래.
그러니까 왜냐면 너가 코드 그리기 넣었잖아요. 여기서 나한테 뭐 잘못된 거다. 인프루브 되는 거죠.
Because we were trying to get slides to get I think just want to know that maybe five the principles you can.
인스타에서
근데 인스타로 아까 열어봤는데 이미 깔려있다.
그러니까 소스가
소스가 그런 거지.
잠깐만. 소스의 라이브러리 하면 뒤로 없습니다.
Keza we have mentioned your post on one kind of thing in what the idea is. So just put that what we can split it. So we can ask the same goal. How we can add that's how we can do the post. And are we using it? Yeah, so you get the sign for what?
파일이 다시
Right now it doesn't say it.
Yeah, the problem was that first of all, the link is wrong because it's often if I say it's only linking to that here. Yeah, but main PY is in different. So that is one thing. Yeah.
Okay, let's change it then.
And can I just say, is there any my project or can
Yeah, it's just maybe we can just like from Explorer. Let's go to my project and where it is. Strathclyde
Yeah.
project. Okay, let's close everything here and save. Also, let's figure out to get rid of the workspace. Inside virtual dock or start with my project is right. Okay, right now we are inside here. Let's try to compile. Shows the same programming. It's okay. Now let's source my library. And the name is changed. Let's go down to the my projects. Source. Okay, where was the library? It was in source.
any chance that we have like just close it? Yeah, I think I just like delete it. Let's use this one. Yeah, okay. Let's solve this problem like just like a time. It's okay. Just we're going to add like two more things. Then yeah, let's take a look at together, okay? Okay, right now we have a program that can create DBs and create Excel files from the database. But I would like to like just a little bit of task. So basically, we have done right now. We have like a big program that creates. But I want you to also use those name box and number boxes, or let's just use the name box right now to have some visual interaction. So I want change the Excel file depending on the name here. Name is written here. So do you have any idea how we can do it?
Adding in the array of the random string.
Sorry, level
So we create the random string from the function of the random string, and then you can put the our input in the function.
So just like the yesterday's you say, right? You were not saying the get, right?
Yes, yes.
Get.
Yeah.
Yes, we can just use the get to get a string. And since it's just a string, we don't need to use set or just say. And instead of putting the name of, because we were just putting the name as random data initially default. So if you put the name entry dot get, that's set entry, I think, dot get in here, I think it should solve the issues. So it shall be try. So this is our name box, right? So let's go back to the Excel for now. So we have done with it right now. Go back to the, not Excel, sorry, Visual Studio Code. So in the first one, our name was the name box. We were using the control. I will just copy the name of the name box, copy the name box, or I have in my mind. So in the bottom one, let's take a look at the function that we were using. To get the name, we were using name box of the get. So let's use the same function to write the code in the Excel. So how we were saving the file random.xlsx. So I want the xlsx to be there. So I will just create. I will just clear the random data, and from here I will put namebox.get. I think this should just work just perfectly well. So shall we try? I think we can just save the Excel file, that's the file that we would like to just adjust. Also, there was another thing in the create DB. We were creating the number of records by having a range to here. So why don't we just add like the first number box here as a number of records? So for example, let's say I want 50. So instead of 100, I want to have 50 from the first one. So here will be just changed. So let's go back to the number one, the first numbox, numbox one. I'll just copy it again. So let's go back to the here where the record was in here. Yeah. So it says random records. I will put numbox dot get, but what we need to add here? So if you remember, we were getting string, so we should change it to the integer. So can somebody tell me what was the conversion to integer from string? How we were converting int? Yes. If we had int and inside the function numbox1 dot get, now we have an integer, and that number of random records will be created. And when we add the name, we should create not random, just our given name database. So I will just clear the random data DB, delete, and Excel as well. You need to close the Excel before doing any modifications, otherwise it will give errors. Okay, let's run the function, run the code. As fingers crossed, and it looks like we haven't get any errors so far. Yes, thankfully no errors. Okay, first one was the name box. The second was the number. So how many numbers shall we type? So just give me a number. 7. Okay, let's put 7 numbers inside the database. So I'm just trying to create database. Hope no errors. Okay, thankfully no errors. I just put 7 and we have database. So let's see what we have created there. Is it 7 or something? So I will give the name. So let's you choose the name. What is the name of the Excel file that you would like to give? Just give me a name. What is it? Yoshi. Let's put Yoshi and create Excel. Okay. Thankfully, no errors again. So we have an Excel named Yoshi here. So let's open it and let's take a look. Yes, as you see, we have just created 7 different numbers with a heading, with their specific headings, and the name is Yoshi. Yes. Okay, so basically, that was all about the things that I was going to say today. So let's go back to the presentation in case that I add anything else. Yeah, that was all. But I would just like to give some brief information about what is object-oriented programming. So some of the languages, basically we have done for the any codes. If you have any questions about those, you can just ask. But just like a general information about object-oriented programming. So Python is while we are also learning, is a very strong, powerful tool for that can solve any of the things that we can even just imagine. So if you have any problem that is regarding with the digital, Python definitely can solve it. You just need to know how you are going to search or implement the system that you are trying to do with Python. Now you have the basic knowledge, the syntax, and how to download any a package or how to use any package. It's more or less the same. And one of the important concepts about programming languages is their object-oriented programming, also called as OOP sometimes, object-oriented programming, which is considered as a very strong tool that is ultimately implemented in Python, C++, Java, and some of the other new and modern languages as well. So, for example, in C, we were saying C was a low level, approximately low level language. It doesn't have object-oriented programming. what is object-oriented programming? So if we give it like a real life example, so this is a mouse, correct? So, so we were writing lots of codes. We were not giving any identification to those codes or those variables. So a mouse can rotate the cursor. It has two buttons, one scroll. So for a variable to have some such a features, it needs to be an object like a mouse. This is why it is called object-oriented programming. So to create a variable as a mouse, you will give a variable name, just like the workbook that Excel gave us, that we were like getting from it. It is called class of that mouse. It is going to have two buttons, which can be a function. You can create functions inside that class, and the class name is a mouse. So this is basically what I was going to say about the object-oriented programming. Of course, this is like again advanced information about in general programming, and I think yeah, that was it. That's all. So I hope you enjoyed that. Today we were like programming a lot, so it might be a little bit boring after the like the day of studies and hard work. So hope you enjoyed.